Hey, how's it going? This is Dave Mulcahy. Wanted to do a quick video here for you guys to discuss the do's and don'ts of Facebook advertising. So I'm going to jump on over here to my screen and we can jump right into it. So the reason this content and this topic is so relevant is because we get a ton of schools and businesses that we speak with that are having a hard time with their ads reaching the number of people that they want for the price that they want. Two, obviously we want to reach as many people for as low as possible when it comes to our Facebook advertising, and a lot of times the content that we put out there stops us from doing that because it's against the Facebook advertising policies or it's just not properly optimized. So let's go through some of the do's and don'ts of Facebook and discuss how we can make sure that your ads are set up properly, created properly, look correct, and will reach the optimal number of people. So let's jump right into it. First, you need to think about the Facebook ads rules and guidelines. And the most important ones, we'll put a link here so you can read them, but the most important ones, keep in mind that you need to avoid text that speaks about the age of the person you're trying to target, their race, religion, or beliefs, their sexual orientation, gender identity, mental health, disability, and their financial status. So this doesn't really, when it comes to martial arts, how does this apply? You're probably not going to send out ads that target a specific gender or say, white kids need more self-defense or anything like that. That's just not the type of ads that you're going to run. But you might send out ads that say things like, Mary, does your 13-year-old, need martial arts or need self-defense? And that's just not going to be allowed. So what you need to do is send something like, does your child need more self-defense? So it keeps it very vague. You could be talking to a number of people that way, and the user on Facebook doesn't feel like they're being targeted specifically by you when you use that kind of language. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. Let's move on to the next thing, the community standards. You need to take a few minutes to read the community standards. There's not a whole lot that you could probably mess up here, but it's just important to know what Facebook's intention is with their community and how you can make sure you can be a good part of that community. So I recommend that you read that. We'll put a link as well in the content. Next, when it comes to creating content, we highly recommend visual content. So always including images and or videos in your content. So Facebook definitely likes images. They're liking videos more these days, but let's talk first about images. So Facebook likes images more than they like text. And what makes a good image is that it's going to be a type of photo that tells a story. So you want it to fit along with your content and your text. So you want it to be relevant. And ideally, it will be photos that you take in your school, not stock photos. So stock photos can be a part, like if you're running a special offer, you can use a stock photo that has, some sort of Halloween background or something along those lines. That's relevant and it tells a story. But if you're going to use other content, that is class related, make sure you're using content that you've created. It's just going to create a better user experience for your visitors and for the people that are consuming your content. Clear images, so make sure that you're uploading images directly from your device that you're using, whether it's your phone, and try to make sure that the images turn the way that you want it. Vertical images with ads just kind of end up getting cut and things like that. So just always keep that kind of stuff in mind. Now, when you're creating an ad image or an image that you're planning to boost to turn into an advertisement, you need to keep thought of the text rule. We call this the 20% text rule. And what this is Facebook doesn't want you to have images that have more than 20% text on them. So on the right here, this is an ad that would pass, and on the left, this is one that would fail. And the way that Facebook does this is they cut your image into a grid. And you need to make sure that your image stays inside of that grid. So maybe overall it won't be 20%, but if this corner is sticking out of one of these boxes, they count the entire box as part of that 20%. So you need to keep that in mind. We'll send you a link here where you can test those images, but you can see there's a lot of text on this image that would put it over that 20%. Also, you need to keep in mind that sometimes logos that have text also count. And so if you think about, like maybe it would have the text on the right-hand side, like Kikido Martial Arts or something along those lines, or Black Belt Martial Arts or something like anything on the right side of that logo or inside of the logo could be confused by Facebook as text. And also you need to think about background text. So sometimes you take a picture in front of like a background that is a billboard or something that has text on it. That will also count sometimes as text with Facebook. So highly recommend you use the tool that we're going to send you. You click on it, you upload your image, and Google will, or Facebook will tell you if it's approved. If you get a little green check mark, that means that the image is going to work fine and you're not going to be penalized. So in the past, they used to reject this type of content and say, nope, you can't run an ad like this. And that would let you know that you were over the 20% text rule. Now what they do is they just restrict your reach, but they still continue to charge you. At least that's been our experience. So what ends up happening is you just end up paying a premium to reach less people. And so it's helped not have as many ads shut down, but at the same time it ends up costing you money. So this is something you definitely want to look into. Now if we jump over to video ads, these are a lot more simple when it comes to text because you can have text on the videos. It does limit it to 125 text characters per frame, so you want to keep things, you don't want to get too text heavy, but you also want to keep in mind the thumbnail of the video. So when you upload a video, Facebook is going to over-index that video, meaning that you're going to reach more people typically with a video ad than you are with an image ad. However, you need to make sure that the thumbnail, so the thumbnail is the image that it will show when the video isn't playing, you need to make sure that that thumbnail fits the 20% text rule. So it needs to be less than 20% text on that thumbnail. So when you upload an image, Facebook will choose from, they'll give you the 10 options or so to select for a thumbnail. You can also upload your own. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your thumbnail. You also want your thumbnail not to violate any other image policies when it comes to Facebook. For example, it doesn't really like before and after photos, so always try to avoid that. Any type of violence or anything, usually they want you to shy away from. So just kind of keep that kind of stuff in mind. And so when you're thinking about content, we just want you to think about what makes good content. Is it relevant? Does it apply to your business topic? And did you write it to your target audience? You want to speak to parents, probably most likely. If you're running a family martial arts school, you want to talk to parents, talk to them about what's happening. What does your kid need? What's going on with your child? Things like that. What's your value proposition? So why should the reader take action? And is there a reason for them to do it sooner rather than later? So a lot of times you can use things like urgency to speed up. This offer expires in 2 days, or we're only taking 10, or we're only taking 5. So just trying to speed up how many people take action. And then also is your call to action clear? So a lot of times people will post things like save 20% or save 50% on our martial arts classes that are upcoming, but you don't say how they can save 50%. So make sure that you're giving them an example of how they are a clear call to action and telling them exactly how they can save 50%. So whether it's click on this link and buy now, or it's message us, whatever that call to action is needs to be very clear about how they can take advantage of this offer that you're throwing out there. So also make sure that your offer is enticing. A lot of times people run things like save 5% on something that's $50, or save 5% on anything. It's just typically not going to catch the attention of somebody. So make sure that it's worth their time and it's enticing. And those are kind of our basic Facebook do's and don'ts. And a lot of them have to do with making sure that your ads reach the right amount of people and also that they're effective. So we're going to continue to create content like this. If you guys have questions or anything like that, hop in the comments below and we'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.